What up? It's your boy T-Ray, Reaction. Today's Music Monday, and your boy is back, and that's none did DJ Premier with the latest episode of So What's Up. Salute to Floppy Disk, and he doing one of my favorite joint from the legendary, the one only Big Daddy Kane, Show and Prove. Show and Prove. If you have not heard this track, is like a collective hip hop joint that mainly starred Big Daddy Kane, but also put on a lot of up and coming rappers, including his own people. Scoop and Scrap, one of Scoop and Scrap as well too in there, but he put on a lot of rappers such as Sauce Money, Shaheem, ODB, and one and only Jay-Z. I'm probably missing somebody else. Let me double check real quick. Let me see who else was in there as well too. I knew it was Saul Money, Scoop. It's the Scoop, as I knew Scoop. It's Sauce Money. Sauce Money. I said the names right. Okay, yeah, and the time a well unknown, and also a premiere of one of the ghosts of rap right there, Jay-Z. So anyway. Without further ado, and it was produced by the one only DJ Premier, so I can't wait to hear this story about this, though. This is going to be awesome. It's probably his first interaction with the homie Jay-Z. You know, he does had to handle a lot of songs by Jay-Z, including his first album, Reasonable Doubt. He had a couple songs in there as well, too. So without further ado, let's check out So What's Up, episode 48, Big Daddy Kane, Show and Prove. Let's get it.
I'm DJ Premier, and I present to you So What's Up.
Okay, computer. Run it back.
So what's up? 90s era again.
And shout out to him rocking the Grisella hoodie right there too. I think that's Benny Boucher's mixtape cover as well too. And the album cover is looking tough behind him.
So great. We're going to go to one of the most iconic MCs to ever do it as a ghostwriter, MC, one of the illest hip-hop performers, because trust me, with hip-hop, a lot of artists did not know how to do shows in the early stages unless you was Run DMC, Houdini, Fat Boys, even UTFO, rest in peace to Kango, rest in peace to the educated rapper, better known as EMD, and on and on and on, man. You know, it's just so many great groups that really put it down. LL Cool J, incredible performer.
Of course.
But when it came...
Again, shout out to the Grammys that hip-hop 50 years old. And you know, they didn't include this man. Now, it's on his premiere, but it would be nice premiere, but I'm talking about Big Daddy Kane, but it's still a great performance.
Came to the newer generation in the mid-'80s of performing, because LL and all them were already established. You got to give it to Juice Crew member, extended Juice Crew member, because he was later on, after Biz Markie gave him his cosign, rest in peace to the Emma, Big Daddy Kane.
It's my mom's favorite rapper as well too. Saw him live a couple times too.
This dude, it was so powerful. Like I said, as a showman,
yes,
as a lyricist,
he's still a
as
showman,
ghostwriter, just the entire, even his image, his entire embodiment of a full package artist, MC, and everything else that goes with a great part of this thing of ours called hip hop culture. So, 1994, he was on his album that was called Daddy's Home. During that time, he wanted to do a posse cut, because I always got to give it to Marley Marl, who was my number one producer for me, in the sampling era of wanting to be like him without biting, because biting's still not allowed. But when it came to Kane, I always give Marley his props, because during the time that they were working together and the transition into Kane doing his own production and even getting other producers to be a part of his projects, like this one, shout to LG, shout to Easy Mo B, and then some, so forth and so on. And of course he enlisted me, but the posse cuts started to extend when Marley Marl's In Control Volume 1 album had a record called The Symphony with Craig G, Master Ace, Kane, and Cool G Rap. once that started happening, it seemed like everybody, including us, were doing posse cuts to have other guests on there. But if you go back to the early days, every artist just had just them on the albums. There weren't features. Now that the feature thing became a standard, even when you do interviews, they always go, "Who you got on your album?" It wasn't like that back in the 80s, going into the 90s. But now, we've been there, and we're here. So Kane enlisted me to do this record that he called Show and Prove. We didn't have the full idea down yet, but he said he was getting a whole bunch of people on there, and he said he was gonna get a little of the new up-and-coming MCs, and then he was also gonna get some guys who already got their feet wet in the game, but were still on the come up.
Yep.
So, starting off, he got his dancer Scoob Lover of the great Scoob and Scrap Lover. Matter of fact, Scoob and Scrap Lover, shout to the IOU dancers.
Yes.
If you know, you know. Shout to Lazy Lays and all the people that were part of the IOU dancers. These guys were the ones creating all the new dance steps when it came to the dope hip hop in the 80s during the Latin Quarter days in Union Square. And just look at some of the footwork that these guys created. Check out Scoob and Scrap.
Yep. Yep. They was killing it. Yep.
Very creative.
The back
very
and all
raw,
that.
Hardcore, and still, and cutting the haircuts, everything.
Yeah, they boss Fade was, and Kane's was fresh, man.
Unique style that was so unlike so many others when it came to a backup for a dope MC like Kane. Scoob really isn't new to rhyming, because the first debuted Big Daddy Kane album, they had a record called On the Bug Tip. It was the last song on side A, because vinyl was out back then. So side A, On the Bug Tip. And they did it over the classic Down by Law. Give a little taste of this. Just having fun. And they were getting busy. Get a little bit of Scoob back on the first album of Big Daddy Kane. He been doing this.
And I like it, y'all. Like it, y'all. The Scoob Lover, won't you hype it, y'all? Well, I'm the SCW.
Oh, this joint.
Ladies, come to me, I'll be your midnight horror. Need a flat top, come to Scoob, I'm the Barbara. Up the bill. And that's right. Just try to step to us, watch what you get. Cause me and Big Daddy's not having it. Well, it's the Big Daddy. So all hail, save your whack rhyme.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, shout to Scoob. Always into fashion. He actually is a fashion designer to this very day. Doing original clothes. Always one of the flyest dudes, head to toe. So big shout to Scoob, and again, shout to Scrap Lover as well. Shout to DJ Mr. C and Big Daddy Kane. Back to moving forward with what we were about to say. So he enlisted Scoob. He also enlisted Sauce Money. First time ever working with Sauce Money was on this record. Obviously, you know, he was also on Reasonable Doubt, but he was also on this record right here with Big Daddy Kane. And he's from Marcy Projects. It kept it very Brooklyn, but then we had to go over to Shaolin. And he enlisted the youngest MC out of Shaolin that was already making noise for Staten Island, Shaheem the Rugged Child. This guy right here was putting it down. I also did a remix for him. We'll have to get into that in one of the episodes. It was called On and On. But right now, we're showing and proving. We're showing, prove, and
here we go.
I didn't even show the disc yet. Let's finish the names, and then I'll show the disc. We're going to go in a different direction. Okay. Scoob Lover. Sauce Money. Shaheem. Motherfucking Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Jigga Man. Also added to the joint. And I gotta do it. The old dirty bastard of the Wu-Tang Clan. He walks in with a cast on his foot. No telling what happened to ODB, because he's always getting into something.
Can't wait for that new season of Wu-Tang American Saga.
We did it at Platinum Island Studios, and we were just getting ready to leave, and he says, "Don't leave, I'm on my way." You know what I'm saying? And he shows up, does the verse, and next thing you know, we have.
Talk about he probably exaggerated. That's probably how he said. That's probably how he was. That's probably how he was. There ain't no exaggeration at all. That's probably ODB for you right there. Lord.
Show and Prove.
Uh-huh.
The original disc. Alright. Yes, indeed.
Whew.
All the sounds contained on these floppy
go.
disks are the sounds that you hear once the record is completely made, and they were created and saved on these, the data stored on these, and then they are put through a process. One of the processes is the S950 Akai sampler, which is what we use. I started with the 900, which had a less sampling time, but then we moved to the 950, gave me a little more sampling time. And then that was connected to the MPC60 Akai drum machine.
Yep. The one I did, what happened was, and we'll keep continuing at this later on today.
Which I used. And when you connect them with these cords called MIDI, they speak to each other to speak to the 2-inch tape. Yes, we were not on anything else but 2-inch tape, reel to reel. Round and round, round we go. Shout to Pac. That was what we were working with.
Like the little
And
pot.
then they all
right
speak to
there.
each other through a thing called time code. It was better known as SMPTE, all right? And those codes and those MIDI cables all unite and start equally as soon as you hit the play button on the tape machine to sync up the sounds on here. Now, this video was also shot for this song, and it was actually shot in what we call, if you know, I've been living in New York for a long time now, so I am an authentic New Yorker and still a Texan for life. But the New York side of things is called Lafayette Gardens. We call it LG. So anybody from Brooklyn, if you say, yeah, we over in LG Projects, they know where that is. So, and shout to LG, the producer, as well. I didn't get to make it to the video because Gangstar was touring at that time with MOP, Nas, and J. Rue the Damager, and Lil Dap and Big Suge. We were all on the road, so I couldn't make it to the video shoot. There's actually a video as well. There's a part 1 and a part 2. The part 1 was a song called In the PJs. That was the lead single off of Kane's album. And then the bonus side was Show and Prove. And of course it had a video, and even when you check out the video, you see that there is a part 2 at the beginning. Matter of fact, they take it back to the old school where you running wires through the projects or plugging into a light pole. And actually, Mr. C is running it through through one of the apartment windows. Check out the beginning of the video.
Yep.
Hey, laugh now, nigga. My man's right behind you. Kane, pull the trigger. I don't play. I'm from the hill, which shit is real. And I'll be on your ass like bugs during the windshield. I cut hand, you still can't get no fun. You can end
That
it
beat,
with
though.
But if I got beats in it,
Big Daddy Kane, man, I texted him for some actual facts of this making of this song. I wanted to make sure I have my facts straight, right? So I said, first of all, I'm done, and people know this. I mix every record down with my engineers and make sure that it's the way I like it. Of course, I let the artist hear it to get a thumbs up that it's a go. But let me tell you something, man. I asked Kane about this particular song, and he said, you stayed mad at me for 2 months for mixing it without you. I remember all that shit. I mix my own records, man. That's just what I do. It's one of the things that I learned as a producer on mixing my records down. I'm such a just tight grip on the entire process because it's one of the
And it paid off because you are one of the hottest producers of all time, man.
things I dreamed of doing so I could be an all-star like people like Marley Marl and Larry Smith and so on and so
R.I.P.
forth when it
Smith,
comes
by
to
the way.
producers. So that's why I stay that much involved to this very day. So I was mad, but I'm happy again. And me and Kane are still the best of friends, and it's so dope that I can actually call him a friend and call him up whenever I feel like it. And shout to Just Ice. When the three of us get together, it is beyond the party. So shout to the icon Just Ice, shout to the icon Big Daddy Kane. And, the song got completed. And one of the most classic things is at the very end, check this out. The beat happened to stop and run out at the end of ODB's verse. And he just happened to end it at the right time, and he says, "Sounds fly, right? Danger!" And I put a bomb exploding. Everybody knows that Danger has now been the voice of one of the most classic, iconic records of our culture. And homies of ours from East New York, Brooklyn, Out Loud from Blase Blase, and P.F. Cuttin from Blase Blase. Well, you know, it's about that time to load the disc into the S950 sampler. And once you load that into the sampler, it communicates with that MPC-60 Akai drum machine. And once you start the play button,
looks like you had the
this
Renaissance.
is what you get. Even though the video already saw what you get, now you get it again. Let's
Here we go.
Rappers get gas, come on and get fast. Try to get past when I blast and you can hand over your ass. One line and that's fair. Rappers get so damn pussy they gotta go for a patch smear. So Shaheem, if you down with the bulls, get on the mic, it's time to show it.
Yo, so check me out as I flip this here track here and make mad noise like a Metallica record. I'm psycho, I'm willing to the styles I be killing when I'm busted. And all competition gets dusted. Cause I rock the world from USA to Asia to Russia. If it's shit stinks, I'm a crusher and Russia. Like a crazy man from Cali, son. My jams be back like a Farrakhan rally. What?
Who's the man? Oh, with the high potent lyrics no rapper can never stand. I get down on it and give it the rap that even act like they want it. I come for your title, get punished. Or else get hit with the ultimate to legit skit. Oh yeah, that's that shit. Drop lyrics on you, strong as ammonia. That is a zone, you strong to junior. I tried to warn you, you was waxing, I known you. Fake as a cupid, zirconia, water to show you. Real lyrics don't.
There you have it, another great episode of So What's Up? Show and Prove Big Daddy Kane again. Shout to School of Lover. Shout to Sauce Money. Shout to Shaheem. Shout to Jay-Z. Shout to the ODB, better known as the Old Dirty Bastard. Rest in peace, my brother. And also
ODB.
the Big Daddy.
Always.
And that's what's up.
Yep, there you go. Home. Young Hov. Cool. And that's what's up. So there you have it. New So What's Up with Show and Prove with Big Daddy Kane, produced by DJ Premier, featuring Scoob, Sauce Money, Shaheem, ODB, and a young Jay-Z. So other than that, can't wait to the next episode of it. Whenever you do it, either way, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.